Hi, I'm Punky Brewster, and I'm irritated as hell. And this show airs too late for me personally. That's how I feel about this right now. Like, who is this time slot for? Till 11 p.m. Excuse me.
I was kind of shocked that they put a brand new show in that time slot, honestly.
This is too. It's too late. It's just
I,
too
th-
late.
I think that's why they do a lot of the Peacock advertising because they know people are going to have to stream it. Because, like, what?
Because who's staying up this late?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you and Mitchell are in different time zones. So, well, I assume, yeah, Mitchell must be in a different zone. You're not. Well, are you above Michigan, Mitchell? Marcus. Hey,
Hey,
Marcus.
Marcus.
I haven't been able to say this to you, Marcus. Really just I don't know why. I could have just messaged you. I apologize. I'm sorry to hear about your grandfather. I'm very sorry for your loss. That's tough. Um,
Oh my God, Mitchell, thank you for the birthday card.
okay, he is ESD. Okay. Yeah, why? Mitchell, but you're young. So like you being up at this time is no big deal.
Okay, so yeah, so
All right.
Mitchell.
Okay. Anyway, hi, I'm Punky Brewster. This is where is she on my screen? I don't know. Maybe like down here. This is Connie Dixon for life. Her YouTube channel is The Ones Who Talk. It's with Marcus, who's in the chat right now. Uh, oh, Aiden. Hey.
Hey.
Anyway, so I'm exhausted, so we're gonna do a very quick
Yeah.
live about this episode. We will be going live after, not after each episode, but the day after each episode, Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. But I leave for New York Comic Con tomorrow. So I will not have time to go live tomorrow. So we're doing it tonight.
Yeah,
I did get
Mitchell.
the birthday card. Thank you, Mitchell. I did get it. I never I felt like I said maybe I said something. I don't remember.
I think you
I'm
did.
sorry. Thank you.
Mine came while I was in the hospital, and then it got put in like a stack of mail, so I didn't even realize it was here. So I apologize. But yes, thank you.
Oh, thanks, Aiden. Um, you should probably watch the show. I like
Yeah,
it.
you should. You
I
should.
like it. I like it. I take issue with a couple things, but we'll get into it. It's fine. It's fine. It's worth watching. I feel like it's worth a watch. All right, so this is the second episode of NBC's Found, which is a brand new show this season. The second episode was called Missing While Sinning.
Mm,
I know. So I did look at the episode list, and each episode will have a missing while.
okay.
A while. I'm sorry. Who am I right now? I was like, what? Missing? I think that's the southern pronunciation is wow, and I think that's why I still want to say it that way. Anyway, um each episode will have that prefix and then it'll be whatever they determine. So, obviously the sinning in this case, unusual verb choice word choice, I think personally. No one mentioned sin in any way shape or form,
Right.
but okay. So, seemed like a little bit of a weird choice, but anyway, obviously the sinning, I mean, I'm a Christian, like tons of stuff is sin. Anyway, missing while sinning is in reference to the fact that the young girl who goes missing is a sex worker. I assume that's the reason.
Hmm.
Now, it could also be that she's lying. This happens a lot with Takeerah's internet, so this is fine. Um, so so it could have been that she was lying because she was lying the whole episode, until the very end. Mitchell says missing while widowed is the next episode. Um, so I guess that'll be a widow who will go missing. I guess that would be my understanding based on the episode title. So I'm already about to flip my computer, Takira. I don't need to be ready to flip your
Yeah,
computer,
I'm ready
okay?
to flip mine.
I'm too tired and aggravated, and my imposter syndrome is flaring up, and my anxiety is through the roof, and I don't want to go on an airplane
Oh.
because I'm fat, and it's like a whole thing. It's not enjoyable for me. Anyway, I'm sure it's not enjoyable for the person I sit next to either, but like I try, okay? I try. I try to cram myself into a little 13-inch seat that is it's like not an appropriate size for any. I'm in a lot of stress right now. So the episode. There are some things I took issue with in this episode. A couple things. Each episode I feel like is going to unveil that Gabby is more unhinged than we think cuz she is unhinged. Um and here's here was the one thing that I took like in terms of like as a television show, there was one thing that I was like, and it was at the beginning when the friends have come to Mosley and Associates and they're talking about how Jenny is missing and they're really upset about it and how she deserves to be found, which is all like it's all very sweet and nice and I like it. But why does Gabby walk in? She has not been involved in any part of this conversation. She's literally outside of the conference room and she walks in and she's like, "That's why you came to the right place." And I was like, "Not you. Not you coming in and acting like you know what's happening right now." So I'm gonna need her to calm down. It was a little too dramatic for my liking.
She had to wait for her moment.
She's because she's unhinged. That's why. Shanola is amazing. We
She
talked a
is
lot about how much we loved
fantastic.
her in our last episode breakdown. We really do love her. But this character is something else. All
Sorry.
right. There's a really big point of contention that I take with Gabby in this episode, and I just kind of want to get it out of the way now. It's not as goofy as that. My point of contention is that by hiding the fact that she knows where Sir is and holding him hostage in her basement, she is preventing Lacey from living her
Yeah.
life and being able to go back to her family, which is very upsetting to me.
Mhm.
Now, from the outside, I think you could say, like, well, it's Gabby's fault that Lacey got kidnapped in the first place. And like a little, not really,
Right.
because Sir's wackadoodle, but it like she does get kidnapped because Gabby says that she is
Is
lonely.
lonely. Yeah.
So I'm not blaming it on her by any means, but like I think, you could logically look at it and kind of get to that step. But
Mhm.
anyway, either way, I am not okay with this whole thing that Lacey cannot see her family and has changed her name. I wondered why she was going by a different name. I thought that was a little weird, but I mean, we didn't know.
Right.
And then you come to find out like Gabby's using like a different name while she was there. Anyway, while she's like kidnapped. So I just didn't know. But no, she changed her name. That's the
Mhm.
reveal at the end of the episode. She changed her name. She's gone into hiding essentially. And she is still scared. And that it just like it irks me. It irks me. I'm not happy about this. It is really selfish.
It is extremely selfish, and I'm wondering, like, clearly they're trying to show us that she doesn't want to be a monster.
Yeah.
And she's, I guess, starting to allow the monstrous type things she's doing to come into focus, and I'm wondering if she's thinking about that as one of them
I
because
think she is starting to see now. I think, like, her reflecting back on that that's how she got, like, her other birthday gift,
mhm.
and the fact that, like, Sir reminds her of that at the end of the episode. I know that that's where this narrative is going, but she's had him for 7 months. So for 7 months, Lacey could have been with her family, living her normal life. And that's what Gabby prides herself in getting people back to their lives. She says that at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
And yet this is what she's doing to Lacey. It really bothers me. Yeah, she's out again. Yes, Mitchell. Demaine Davis directs some fantastic episodes. Her episode of Clarice. I've not watched Clarice. I have not watched Clarice. Whoa. Um, I we did kind of talk about Demaine Davis this last episode breakdown that we did because we did like a whole overview of the show and who wrote it and who was directing and everything. And Demaine Davis has done episodes of how to get away with murder, which is what we were excited about because this whole show has such a like Shonda Rhimes vibe to it.
I'm super excited because I was like live tweeting with Demaine Davis tonight. I was like, what is happening?
Now I'm sad to say I think that Demaine may have only directed these first 2 episodes?
Oh,
I cannot remember. It may be Demaine through, like, the whole first season, but that's extremely unlikely. Usually, you get several directors
okay.
in, like, a show's season. It's never,
Mhm.
like, the same person over and over again. So, I think it would be unusual if it was Demaine the whole time, but I don't know because this may be, like, a passion project for some people. So, we'll just
Mhm.
have to wait and see. I know that the writer changes after this. So these first 2 episodes were written by the show's creator. I cannot
Mhm.
remember the name, but I, like, butchered it last time. It's in my notes somewhere, but I have a whole pile of work next to me, so, um, and I know that the show's writer will be different on the 3rd episode, I believe, but again, this is all information that you get from IMDb, and who knows, because it could change.
Right.
Like, it could change, it could have been inaccurate, so we'll just have to wait and see what shows up on the show credits.
Susan Rovner? No. Mm,
We'll just have to see. We'll wait and see. I'm not gonna
yeah,
worry
I
about it right now.
I
Anyway,
think that's the name. Yeah.
so that was my big, issue that I took with this episode. I was not happy about that. I was really that really bothered me.
Mhm.
There was a smaller secondary issue that I was like and maybe it's just like maybe I just misinterpreted, okay? All right. Don is Don dating his therapist?
Did I miss something?
Okay, the only reason I'm asking this is because, like, I get his boyfriend is a therapist. Okay,
Mhm.
fine. That's fine. The line that bothered me was that when I didn't catch the boyfriend's name. I don't know if it was said. But anyway,
I didn't make note of it,
so
so
therapist boyfriend comes in and is asking about the whole Zeke melodrama. Like, why do you dislike Zeke so much? And does
Mhm.
the whole, it's because that's how you were when you came back. You viewed yourself as weak. This is the worst version of you. That's why. Then there's a line to the effect of, I helped you work through this. And I was like, bro,
Oh.
wait, what? Wait, roll back. Were you the man's therapist?
Oh my gosh.
I think it's fine if like you worked to get like through that together. like as a couple,
Mhm.
great. But that is concerning to me. It's concerning to me a little bit. Because if you met because you were his therapist,
Right.
it's like not really an appropriate relationship. Um, and if not, the man really does need therapy. So I think just dating a therapist and like reaping those benefits is like it's not the same.
No.
It's not the same. So the okay, so that was those were my grievances with this episode. I don't know why. I felt like overall it was a very strong follow-up episode to the pilot.
Mhm.
It felt strong. It's the same theme, right? Marginalized people, everything carried through. Those were just a couple moments where I was like, I don't know what's happening here. This is weird to me. I know the thing with Gabby is intentional. That whole storyline is
Right.
intentional. That's going to be the narrative for the season. Fine. It bothers me, but fine, because we want to see what happens, and we want to see what happens with Sir, because there's some stuff in the previews that have been
Yeah.
like a little scary.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. Granted, we have now seen almost every scene in the trailer, I believe now, because it's the
Oh.
neck cutting thing with the straight razor that was part of it, and then the whole news interview that was a huge part of the trailer. So I think we've seen a lot of it so far, but there is still some stuff that's kind of out there that's a little bit concerning. Um anyway, so I liked it, but I took issues with those things. And the thing with the therapist boyfriend, I don't know that that was intentional and it may have just been me. Mitchell, did you get that vibe? I don't know. Was that just me? You missed it.
I missed it.
You
And
missed
that's
it, but
why I usually try to do, like, 2 watches because I always miss everything the first time around for some reason.
Chad Lowe directs episode 8, says Mitchell. I don't know who that is.
I'm looking them up right now.
I don't know who that is, Mitchell. Who is that, Mitchell?
Oh! Rob Lowe's brother.
Oh,
Yeah.
of the Lowe family. Okay.
Mhm.
I missed it too, but I'll have to do a rewatch. Okay, all right. Just rewatch it and let me know if I've like misunderstood that line. But it's something about it just felt a little weird to me. I just didn't love it. That's
It
fine. You do you, but like but like if you're talking an emotionally vulnerable person who was then like sucked into a relationship with someone, I feel like that might be a little bit of an abuse of power.
it isn't
My
it,
opinion.
like, against the
Yeah, it's definitely a conflict of interest,
Mhm.
but anyway, moving on. So Tahira, what did you think of this episode?
Oh, I thought it was solid. I thought it was a super solid episode. I again found myself going, "See, that's why we need this show." Um, it's been people of color every time, but also
Mhm,
they added the element of prostitution, which is something that gets overlooked in missing persons cases in reality because of their choice of work. And I love her line where she's like, I don't know exactly like word for word, but she was pretty much saying like it doesn't matter what her job is. She doesn't have to be a perfect person to be
mhm.
worthy of being found.
I agree. I
Mhm.
agree. I agree with that concept. No one should be just like lost. But
Mhm.
Um, I do think that we're gonna see a variety. I think they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna follow that template that they've kind of set in place for themselves. So
Mhm.
I think it'll be like because they already said it, it's like no matter their gender, no matter their sexual orientation, no matter like so I think it's gonna be all of those things, like religion, all of that stuff. I think it's all gonna play a part in this season.
I am hoping to see indigenous women. Because
That would be truly interesting to me,
yeah.
especially because of what has been in headlines in recent weeks. So I think that would be a really big deal. I kinda wish that if that were the case, that that would have been an earlier episode, but the way that these episodes were filmed, you can't I don't think you can move them around. It's not like a
Mhm.
regular, like, procedural
Right,
where you could, like, move them. Can't
right.
do that.
It's too many other continuing stories within the
Yeah. Yeah,
changing story.
you can't move it.
Yeah.
Typically, with the first season of shows, like, episodes will get bumped around, but I don't know that that's gonna happen. If it does happen with this one, it's not a good sign. So, if that does start to happen, I think we're on the chopping block.
Uh,
Um, you know, so we'll just have to hold out and see. Mitchell says that his favorite line was, "I want a lawyer. Oh, sweetie, we're not the cops."
we're not the cops, sweetie.
I did not care for creepy roommate. Was not interested.
Yeah, he was creepy. He was
It's just
creepy.
like something about you is just off. Something about you is just off. So I was glad I wasn't wrong, but I kinda thought he had stolen the painting, truthfully.
Yeah.
That's what I had thought, so
I think that just based off of how very, very well she does her job, that Margaret's gonna end up being either my favorite or one of my top favorites.
okay, I'm so glad you mentioned Margaret. 1, I do love Margaret. I love her,
Mhm.
like, her superpower, as Lacey calls it.
Mhm.
1, it's the same thing from Lie to Me, which I love because
Yes.
that was her show. I mean, it wasn't she wasn't the main character, but she was the supporting actress, like,
Mhm.
heavily. I just put on Scrubs yesterday for, like, the millionth time. And so I, was at the end of season 1 today because while I was working from home today, I just had it on in the background, and I forgot that she dates Dr. Cox in the first season. I totally forgot about it, so I was really excited when I saw her. I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's right. I know you from this show too." So that was kind of exciting. Mitchell says that Fox has a show called Alert Missing Persons Unit, and it's really good too. That is so
Oh,
weird that 2 networks ended up putting out, like, a similar show at the
I
same
need to
time.
you know what, Cat? Don't come in here messing with me.
Not right now. I have limited time, cat.
Uh,
Okay.
what was I just looking up? Now I don't remember because of the
You
cat.
were looking up Alert Missing Persons Unit.
Yes, I was.
I
Yes.
don't need you to look that up right now. Look that up later in your own time. We're not talking about that show. We're talking about Found. I am interested. But we're talking about Found right now. I'll look it up later when I'm trying to go to bed. Um, okay, so all right. So you're feeling like Margaret's probably gonna be one of your favorites.
I really like her.
I do like her. I like her a lot. I think Lacey may end up being my like all overall favorite. I think I'm gonna get
Mhm.
really angry at Gabby for a while.
Mhm.
I think I know that that's like the narrative. That's the way the show is written. You're gonna like want to kind of be mad at Gabby because of
Right.
everything that she's doing, and then she'll probably redeem herself at some point in the season. But
Mhm.
I'm feeling real ick right now about her. And it's just because of everything that she's doing. It just bothers me. It just bothers me. Um, Zeke is still up there for me. Love and Zeke.
Oh, yes.
Love
Oh
and
my
Zeke.
god, Zeke. Oh, Zeke.
Yeah.
I knew he was gonna pass out because, like, that's I was trying to explain it to Richie too. I was like, I've studied enough psychology and watched enough, like, horror, psychologically screwed up TV shows and movies to know. I was like, if he steps outside, he's gonna pass out. He's gonna pass out.
He did. Excuse me. He did. He did. It was very sad, but I think it's easy to look at agoraphobia and think like just get over it, but
Mhm.
it's really severe. It has a lot to do with like really strong anxiety. It's heavily linked to the same thing, so I don't know. It's interesting to see it portrayed this way because I've seen, like, more milder cases of agoraphobia in like, in reality, not in my own life, but, like, people that I know, and, um and it's never been that severe, so it's interesting to see, like, a really severe case, but, like, how would I have seen a severe case otherwise?
I mean, and of
Because 'Cause they'd be
course,
in their house and I wouldn't even know.
right.
Yeah.
Of course, I think of Shameless also when I think of agoraphobia.
I have never watched all of Shameless. So, there's that. It
Funny.
hits a little too close to home for me.
Oh,
I
you did
struggle
say
with it.
that. Yeah,
I
you did
struggle with
say
it.
that.
I've tried several times, and the weirdest thing is the furthest that I got was when I was a really big drinker, weirdly. Um, I would watch it after I'd gone out. It's like anyway, um, I don't do that anymore. And, and it's not like Frank reminds me of me. It's just that, I had a drunk dad and it was,
Yeah.
he wasn't there, so I didn't feel the full effect, but he was there for the first couple years of my life and it wasn't great. So, it just hits a little too close to home, but, um, it was also one of those shows that I struggled with, like, did I wanna watch the British version or the American version? I struggle with that sometimes when there's more than one, when it's, like, been remade.
So I normally go with the British version no matter what, and usually I end up watching both, but, like, first watch, I usually go with the British version. It's just that I didn't know there was a British version until
Mm,
I was, like, 5 seasons in with this Shameless, and then I couldn't get into the British version.
okay, that's interesting. I know that it's that and Being Human, that's the other one
That
that
one?
I like. I've tried both. I've tried the British version, I've tried the American version, I just, like, couldn't get
That's, like,
into
one
it.
of my favorite
I just couldn't get
shows.
into it. I couldn't get into it.
The the British version
The British version?
is one of my favorite shows, yeah.
Okay. Alright. Maybe I'll give it another try. Anyway, we're talking about other shows again.
I
Back to
know.
Found. Back to Found. Okay. I don't think there was a ton to talk about with this episode. Really, the big
It
reveal was the
wasn't.
thing with Lacey.
I have, like, 3 or 4 notes, and
Okay.
it wasn't anything huge. Oh, I just kinda wrote down a little LOL 'cause, was it I keep forgetting the cop's name. Mark? Mike? Mark.
I think it's Mark.
Mark.
Again, it's in my notes, but I don't know where my notebook is.
Um, Mark did not wanna say who was the detective on that missing persons
Mm.
case. I was over here
He did not
giggling.
wanna admit that. No, he did
Yeah,
not.
he knew
Mm-mm.
he messed up.
He certainly did. Oh my god. Okay, well, that's embarrassing. Now the live stream is playing on my phone and it won't shut up. Okay, great. Cool. That was embarrassing. I was trying to pull in my notes. Anyway.
Oh my god, is his
Um,
name Trent? Does it not even start with an M?
well, they call him by his last name a lot.
Oh, yes, his last name is Trent. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is that we now have a timeline for how long Gabby was taken for.
Oh, yeah, I was
So
like,
it's 1 year and 8 days that she was taken for
"Ah, okay.
because the beginning shows the subtitle 2003, 365 days, like gone, 8 days prior to escape. That's the first, it's like, that's what the
Ah,
subtitle is.
okay."
So they're celebrating her 1 year anniversary because I was like, wait, did it say 365? But they were celebrating the 1 year anniversary. So that was
Mhm.
1 year for sure. And then 8 days later, she receives her gift, which he then reiterates at the end of the episode. So 1 year, 8 days is how long she's with Sir.
Are you getting, like, a mirroring sort of theme?
Yes, she's becoming the monster.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hands down. Hands down. Oh, we got someone new in the chat. Hello. His okay, so is his last name Trent or is his first name Trent?
See, I had written another little LOL because I was like team, Mabby, so I knew his name started with a M, but
Okay.
yeah, his last name is, Trent.
I thought it was Trent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and is it Chinessa? I don't want to mispronounce. I'm horrible with name pronunciation. I'm so sorry. Um, Mitchell says 373. But it was 1 year, Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, 365. Yep.
Oh, I see you added it. I was like, what are you talking about? That's not how many days are in a year, Mitchell. I get it. Like, whoa, I need to go to bed. Um,
I wrote, yeah, I just wrote that, clearly, like, Mark has a super crush on Gabby. Like, he's
that's
gonna
why he
show up
showed
at
up
your
to the
house.
office.
Yeah, she's gonna I mean, not your house. He's gonna show up at your, office unannounced, and
Mhm.
he's just gonna do it.
Why are you working so late? You should probably just come home with me. I will say, like, as he's, like, talking and he's, like, standing over his desk, I was like, that is a really good looking dude."
Mhm. He's very nice
Yeah.
looking.
Mark Trent. Okay, we were right. It's Mark Trent. Alright.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Um, we'll just
She
nickname people our own names, and then that'll be their name for the
right?
whole season, so thank you for giving us the correct name. Yeah, when Sir made the comment about another one-year anniversary with her, it felt so icky. It really did, it was
Yes.
so
Oh,
gross. Ugh. Um,
he gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I just have to say, phenomenal acting.
Oh,
I
yes.
I am, like, over the moon with Mark Paul.
Mark
It's so
Paul.
good. It's so good. Um, I find myself wanting, like I would watch a show that was just Gabby and Sir.
Oh, yeah.
I would watch just that. I don't even
Mhm.
need the other story, honestly. The ending revealed to OMG. Oh, yes, I know that she got the gift, that Lacey was a gift. It's so sad.
This episode made me very sad, yeah.
I told you I'm pissed. I'm pissed at Gabby. I'm really
Yeah.
mad at her. I just feel so bad for Lacey. I just feel so bad for Lacey.
And how do you do that to I mean, maybe she feels like because she was only gone for a week, but it's like, it doesn't matter, like, she still was violated, and you are really hindering her from healing.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's more I guess you could say, like, in Gabby's mind, like, maybe he's more her villain
Right.
because she was with him for so long, but
Yeah.
that just goes to show, like, being kidnapped by him distorted so much
Yes.
of her sense of reality, like, clearly.
What did she say? She said, "Love, when mixed with power, can become distorted." Is that what she said?
Mhm, yep,
Okay.
yeah, and
But
isn't that the whole point of Macbeth? Which his reaction when she said that, because that's what he really wants her okay, like, so I was thinking about this. He scripts everything for these, like, dinner parties, so
mhm.
that she can come off as, like, a certain level of educated and,
Yes.
intelligent. But she took the information, digested it, and then gave, like, true response.
Right.
And his happiness in that moment is, like, disgusting. He was so, like, excited, maybe in more than one sense.
When I tell you, like, I feel like something is just crawling and creeping up my spine just thinking about it, just
Mm.
thinking about it.
Okay, so live
Yeah, she
chat.
was reading Macbeth.
Janessa says, "This is how she can protect Lacey. He can't get her if he's locked in her basement." While that is true, it's not really protecting Lacey because if she had found him and turned him into the police, Lacey would be just as protected. The problem is that Gabby's getting, like, revenge,
Mhm.
and as a result, the only person who's still suffering is Lacey. Arguably Sir, but we don't really care about him. Um, she was reading Macbeth on the bike that morning. See, like, why
Yeah.
is it she's, like, reliving all of it.
Mhm.
It's so weird. I get it because it's like you're trying to relive the trauma, but when you're in power to regain a sense of power, it makes sense,
That moment,
but it's weird.
I was like, she's angry exercising while educating herself? Like, I like, it was such a weird moment.
I mean, as someone who's tried to read while exercising is, like, not the easiest thing in the world to do,
Right.
honestly. I don't love it because 'cause you're, like, you're moving so much, but, Gabby doesn't trust the police. I wouldn't okay, I will give you that. I will give you
Mhm.
that she doesn't trust the police. She doesn't, not to do their jobs correctly. I do agree with that. I just feel like, I talked about it at the beginning of the live stream. I'm just really angry at her because Lacey can't go back to her family, because Lacey had to change her name. She cannot go back to her life. And that just feels so unfair that she's not even, as far as we know, because she's so worried about where he is, we could assume she has not been given any option in this.
Right.
Like, Gabby didn't come to her with it to say, like, look, I found him and this is what I'm going to do. Because clearly,
Only thing
why
I
is
could
that what you would do?
think is that I mean, I feel like if she went through all the trouble of finding him herself and not getting any help, it clearly wasn't to lock him up. Like, that was never the idea, I don't think. But maybe she sat down and thought about the trial and how long it might last, and maybe he'll bail himself out of jail, and maybe she just is feeling like she's saving Lacey from all of that.
Well, I don't know that he'd be granted bail. That's a bit
I
of
mean,
a
that's
stretch.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's a
true.
bit of a stretch. Now, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it was intentional, but I do think sure her psyche is cracked.
Mhm.
So it makes sense that she would take him in, but again, it's all about the power dynamic.
Yeah.
She regains power by doing this, and clearly that's what is important to her. She lost power for a year and 8 days, So Mitchell says if he's been locked up for 7 months, what if she's waiting for the year and 8 days since that's how long she was taken? See, but, like, that's so to why though?
Right.
Like,
She's just
I get what you're saying, like, that's fair, Mitchell, that's a fair assumption, maybe, but I'm just really struggling with that.
so let's go into psychology a little bit. So
Well, no, like, I get their psychology behind it, it just bothers me. I'm just saying, like,
oh, no.
it makes her unlikable to me.
I I just mean, like, I was thinking about how they say, like, the abnormal mind, like, usually not usually, but a lot of times they can find, like, abnormalities in the brain,
Mhm.
with people that do these types of crimes,
Oh, yes.
and it makes me wonder, like, even though he never touched her, he never, like, physically abused her, anything like that, did he still damage her mind and, like, turn it into whatever his looks
Well,
like? You know what I mean?
hands down. Because trauma is a really serious thing, and, like, the trauma alone can reroute your brain. So, okay. So, in terms of neurology, when you think of okay, so when you're, like, negative, right? When you're negative about something and you're negative about something every day for, like, 3 months, this is, "Oh, it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good." What your brain does is it takes that route, and because it's the most traveled route, like, that's the route that's easiest for your neurons to go. So they just keep treading that path of negativity,
Mm,
okay? So, in order for you to, like, rebuild habits, you have to intentionally do something for, like, several months in order to retread in your brain. So in order
okay.
for the neurons to reroute to a different route, you have to intentionally do those things. That's why people say, like, spend like it takes 21 days to build a habit.
Mhm.
It's not that math isn't correct, but the concept is correct. If you keep working at something, then that neural pathway becomes easier to travel, and then that's
Right.
the one that's traveled. readily. So, when you interact with some sort of trauma, especially for long periods of time, your neural pathways develop in a way that's going to be like fight or flight, fight or flight,
Mhm.
fight or flight, like always. And so then when you're in a normal situation that doesn't need to engage that fight or flight, it's still going to be your brain's natural go-to.
Mhm.
Um Now, in terms of like I view that because of like I'm a domestic abuse survivor, and so to this day I still have fear in like the morning, for instance, when I leave the house and it's dark out, I still have fear that like my abuser will be there. It doesn't make any sense. I live like across the country now. I'm married. He hasn't tried to contact me in over 4 years because I had a restraining order. Like, there is no reason for that to be a fear for me any longer. But because those neural pathways have been there for so long and
Mhm.
were there for 8 years, it's, like, hard to break out of that. It's not as frequent now, so I can tell that my neural pathways have developed, like, a different route, but it still happens and certain things trigger it. So I could see, like, a year and 8 days is a long time,
Yeah.
and your fight or flight is engaged the entire time, which is like that's horrible for your body.
Yeah.
It's really bad for your body. Not great for your brain. Your adrenal system is like going, 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 going the whole time. So I can only imagine like how like her brain would be locked into that negative thought process.
Mhm.
I'm sure she has, much like Lacey, she's been in fear this whole time. She
Yeah.
finally was able to relieve that fear by taking him in, and I'm sure at that point, it was just like, "No, this seems better. They're not gonna punish him enough."
Right. Yeah. And also, she's still in fight or flight mode. I don't know what she's gonna be able to do to get out of it, but
I
every move
know,
she makes.
I know. I keep thinking about that, I'm like, "In no way does this end well for you."
Yeah.
Um, because what? Like, so if Mark Trent finds out, like, he's done with you,
Mhm.
I have a feeling there's gonna be some sort of relationship that's developed over the season, so I think that's gonna be a real point of contention. It's probably gonna be, like, the climax of the season. Um, and then, like, 1, you're not assured that you're gonna be able to keep him captive forever. So then what happens when he's not captive anymore?
Mhm.
And then you're going to jail.
Mhm.
Like, because now you've broken the law. So, I don't
And
know.
then
I don't know. Live chat, what do you guys think about this?
Lacey's feelings gonna be, like, super hurt.
That's the other thing, then you're gonna lose Lacey because she's gonna be
Mhm.
pissed that you kept this from her. Alright, so, quick poll, live chat. How do you feel about this? Sorry we went off on a tangent about psychology and neural pathways, but it's just wanted to discuss it apparently. Blame it on Takeerah, she's in psychology courses right now. Um, so, yeah, so what do you think about this whole situation? What do you where do we even go from here? Like, where do we for sure Lacey is gonna be got it. I
Yeah.
agree. That's the most heartbreaking part of all of this to me. This I just really feel for Lacey right now in this moment.
And she's just, I'm just imagining her, like, replaying things over and over in her head, and most of it being the fear that she's been living with
Yeah,
all this time that she didn't need to. I mean,
I know.
crazy as it sounds, she could be like, "Girl, we coulda did this together."
I mean, you have no idea. You have
Right.
no idea what her response would have been. You have no clue, and now you'll never find out. That's the
Right.
problem. Like, she didn't ask, and now we'll never know
Mhm.
how she would have responded, but, um, I think we're gonna have to wrap this up
Yeah.
just because it is almost midnight. What is happening? Who is this time slot for? I'm too
Not
old for
not
this.
us.
I'm too old for this. This is ridiculous. Um, Maybe, like, maybe Lacey would be in, I don't know. Um, well, thank you, Mitchell, thank you, Marcus, thank you, Aiden, thank you, Janessa, for joining us. We do I wanna clarify, tonight is abnormal, I am leaving for New York Comic Con tomorrow.
Oh my god.
Janessa, you don't know me, but this is weird, and I've got a lot of imposter syndrome about it right now, but anyway, regardless, I'm gonna be at Comic Con for some reason unbeknownst to me. There, I don't know why. And so we had to reschedule. Normally we do these on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. because that gives us enough time to like watch the episode live, watch it again the next day, kind of digest, think about everything, really try to dive into stuff. So please join us again next
Yes.
week. I will be back. I will be back next week. I'm flying back on Monday, so I will be back in time to do found coverage next week. So we will continue at our normal time, 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. And Mitchell says, I can't wait to hear the news. I'm so excited. I'm so
Oh,
excited.
yeah.
So Janessa, we're all huge Walking Dead nerds. Like this is found as like it was just a show that I was really interested in. That's why we're covering it. But um I am part of a podcast that covers The Walking Dead, as is Takeerah. And um so yeah, so we're there for a Walking Dead panel. I'm excited about it.
And she's gonna get to see the season finale.
I do get to see the season finale of Daryl Dixon before everybody else. I'm really stoked. I get to do a lot of cool stuff while I'm there. I'm like baffled. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you to say have fun. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So thank you guys for your input and your opinions on this and go back and watch the episode and tell
Yeah,
me, is
I
that
will.
therapist boyfriend a creep or not?
He
Did he
probably is, but I'm
patient?
definitely gonna watch it
Did
again.
he date his patient? I'm just saying. I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure. Anyway, thank you guys. We love you. We'll be back next week for more found missing while widowed. So, looking forward to it. I'll talk to you then, or you'll see lots of content from me this weekend or none at all. It's really one or the other with me. So, no, I have to make content because people are gonna be pissed if I don't. So, I'll see you on whatever platforms you can look at my Ko-fi and everything's down in the link. Just go to the link. Okay. All right. Love you guys.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Thank you.